Meet Kwame and Amma. Like many of us, they are tired of packing boxes and moving from apartment to apartment. They are looking for stability, a place where they can finally put down roots. The decision to stop renting usually comes down to a trade-off. Renting gives you the flexibility to pack up and move whenever you need to. Owning a home requires you to stay put, but it allows you to build equity, which means every mortgage payment slowly increases your own personal wealth instead of your landlord's. Generally, the math begins to favor buying if you plan to stay in the same location for at least 7 years. That time horizon gives the home's value room to grow, eventually outweighing the initial costs of the purchase. Kwame and Amma have done the math, and they are ready to buy. Naturally, their very first instinct is to pull out their phones and start scrolling through photos of beautiful houses. But if you find a dream kitchen before you've checked your budget, you risk falling in love with a home you can't actually afford. Home buying works best as a sequence, starting not with the architecture, but with the numbers. The journey to home ownership actually begins right at the kitchen table, organizing paperwork. You need to build a firm financial foundation before a bank will consider lending you hundreds of thousands of dollars. The first pillar of that foundation is your credit score. This number acts as your financial track record, proving to lenders that you have a history of paying your debts reliably. This chart compares the total lifetime cost of a 30-year loan at a baseline interest rate, right next to a rate that is exactly 1% higher. That tiny difference in your credit profile can cost you over $100,000 by the time the loan is fully paid off. The second pillar is the deposit, or down payment. While putting down 20% helps you avoid extra insurance fees, there are many safe programs that allow you to purchase a home with a deposit as low as 3.5%. The final pillar is the pre-approval letter. This is a formal document from a lender stating exactly how much money they are willing to let you borrow, based on a deep dive into your credit and savings. By securing your credit, preparing your deposit, and holding that letter in hand, you transform from a hopeful window shopper into a serious, competitive buyer ready to negotiate. With their finances in order, Kwame and Amma are ready to step out into the market. Navigating a real estate transaction requires specialized knowledge. To do it right, you need a team. First is the real estate agent. They act as your personal guide and negotiator. They find listings and handle high-stakes conversations with sellers. In most cases, their fee is paid by the person selling the house, not you. Next is the mortgage broker. Think of them as your financial shopper. Instead of going to one bank, a broker scans multiple lenders to find the best possible loan terms for your specific situation. Finally, you need a home inspector. This impartial detective crawls under floors looking for hidden, expensive flaws before you commit to the purchase. When you find the right house, your agent helps you draft a formal offer. To prove you are serious, this offer includes earnest money, a cash deposit showing you intend to follow through on the deal. Making an offer isn't a solo gamble. Because you have a team of experts reviewing the paperwork, your interests are protected at every turn. The moment the seller accepts your offer, you enter a phase called being under contract. This opens up a critical window of time to investigate. During this phase, you are protected by contingencies. These are legal escape hatches. If you discover a severe problem during your investigation, a contingency allows you to walk away from the deal with your deposit intact. The first safety net is for the physical structure. This gives your home inspector time to check the integrity of the roof, foundation, and plumbing to ensure there aren't disasters waiting behind the walls. The bank sends an expert to ensure the house is actually worth the price. If it doesn't match the loan, the appraisal contingency lets you walk away. Finally, a title company searches public records to ensure there are no hidden debts attached to the land. This period of investigation changes the purchase from a leap of faith into a calculated decision. It gives you the chance to see exactly what you're buying before the commitment is final. Once the inspections are clear and the loan is approved, you reach closing. This is the final meeting where the paperwork is signed, the funds are transferred, and the keys are handed over. On top of the price of the house, you'll need to set aside extra cash for taxes, title insurance, and lender fees. These final transaction costs, often called closing costs, typically range between 2 and 5% of the total price. But once those papers are signed, the keys are finally yours. You can stand in your own living room knowing you navigated a complex journey. However, the monthly mortgage payment is just your baseline. As an owner, you must now budget for property taxes and homeowners insurance, both of which can rise over time. And because you no longer have a landlord to call, you need a maintenance fund. A reliable rule of thumb is to save 1% of your home's value every single year for inevitable repairs. While homeownership always carries its own risks and responsibilities, following a disciplined process helps you manage those challenges. By starting with the math and trusting your team, you can turn this complex purchase into a cornerstone of your long-term stability.